back, ladies and gentlemen,
We're back.
with Jamie, Richard, and Dr. Steve Maraboli. And he was just getting into the meat of the matter.
That's it. I'm getting into it. I'm getting into the idea that the reason that I continue to publish, the reason why my team continues to share our quotes, is because I want people to know that they're not broken. That you are perfectly imperfect, and that you have this idea. We're born certain ways, and we have these certain inclinations, and you have genetic dispositions, and you have all of these things. And what you also have is that every gene you have in your body, that is the genes of the survivors. Those are the victors. You are a reflection of the most winning genes of your ancestors. That's powerful. How dare you dilute yourself? How dare you question your own worth? How dare you question your own ability? How dare you question something? You are here. You are amongst the elite of all the genetics that have ever existed before. You are a compilation of the winners. How dare you live your life any other way? How dare you live an on-hold life waiting for someone to appreciate you, waiting for someone to cherish you, waiting for yourself? How dare you do that? And I'm here to tell them, no, absolutely not. Let today be your say pop moment. Let today be the day that you refine, improve, enhance your life. Let today be the day you know who's poisonous in your life. Get them out. Let today be the day you no longer ask for the ability to achieve, but instead achieve, move forward without apology.
That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Richard and I were talking about people in our lives and what to do about that. And our question was for each other that we wanted to pose to you, Stephen, was is there a possibility of a person that might come along in your life that is just not fixable, just not good for you, should not be in your life?
Yeah, of course. And they're on their own journey.
And they're on their own journey.
And it's not that they're not good. They're just not good for you. And it's not good for that.
We find that sometimes that we
Yes.
feel bad about feeling bad. It's like we feel
Yes.
bad, like we can't help that person,
And how
we
does that
can't
work for
steer
you?
that person. It doesn't.
All right, so
It
now you're
doesn't.
already answering your own question.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so we start knowing that, yes, that comes in. And we have this idea that we're the great fixers.
Mm.
We have this idea that I can be your medicine. But when you're poison to me, my desire to be your medicine is just as poisonous to you. How dare I tell you you're not right?
Right.
Because you're not right for me? No, thank
No.
you. Put your stuff out there and free yourself.
Okay.
Everyone's doing their thing. You are no better or worse than anybody else. It's just sometimes you don't fit. And there are people in your lives that are like medicine. So my mom, love my mom so much. When she got cancer and she was in her process of dealing with cancer, she got these drugs. Some of these drugs, they have these bottles. They were just pills. She was on pills. And these pills made her feel so good. She was in so much pain. These pills made her feel so good. And when I would go get them for her, there was all kinds of warnings on these bottles. And one of the warnings said, don't take this after you're done with this instance of feeling horrible, because then they're toxic. So I thought, how interesting that when she's in this situation, these pills are exactly what she needs. But when she's out of the situation, those same pills are poison.
Interesting.
Yes.
There are people in our lives who are like that.
Right.
Yes.
Who, while we're in a certain situation, we are medicine for each other. But hang on
But
too
there's a
long,
shelf life.
and they become poisonous. And you know who they are. You
Yes.
know who they are. There are a million things like that. I was invited to speak at my elementary school. How funny is that?
Oh, that's
Aw.
wild.
And so I was invited to speak at the elementary school, and it looked the same to me, just a little smaller, right? Perceptions, everything.
Right.
And I wasn't the only one. It was like a career day kind of thing, and I was one of the speakers invited. And while there was another speaker doing his thing, I sat in the little chairs, and there were these little chairs that are like metal kind
Sure,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, we remember.
So not so friendly to my tush,
Oh no.
and like my knees were like up here,
Yeah.
and it was just really uncomfortable. And I thought to myself, because I am the endless nerd and I'm endlessly thinking about things, I thought to myself, isn't this funny? That when I came here, this place was exactly what I needed. And these chairs were fine. But now,
Right.
I've outgrown this place, and I simply don't fit here anymore. Trying to fit here hurts. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with the chair.
No.
Right.
The chair is perfect for its design.
Right.
I just don't fit there anymore.
That's,
And there are people and life situations that equal that. And it is our desire to fit in a place we don't fit anymore that hurts us. It's our desire to want to help people who we're not designed to help that hurts us. When you free yourself of that, and that's what I was talking about shrinking spiritual, not growing spiritual, but shrinking it. When you free yourself from something you're not designed to do, your whole life gets better, and you're able to focus on the most important things, what you are designed to do.
Excellent.
have you figured out your design? Well, you have a moment. We'll be back after these messages.
Good morning, I'm Corinne Caro and I'm here with Dominique. She is the host of our show, Art and Fashion, and thank you so much for having a show each week.
Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
I love your shows. It brings in starving artists and people that have such creative ability. Thank you for doing it. What do you do when you look for a host?
I know a lot of creative people. I know people in all walks of art and fashion. So I just look for people who have done things that are different, who have found their own little path and are working on something really creative and really special.
I feel like you're creative in yourself. Tell us a little bit about your clothing store.
I have a vintage clothing store, Paper Doll Vintage Boutique. We specialize in clothes from the 20s through the 70s, 80s. And then we also have mid-century reproductions of like pinup style clothing of like the 40s and 50s. So it's also unique, one-of-a-kind clothing.
I love it. That's your creative. If you'd like to be on Dominique's show, please contact us at the Daily Blue, 631-761-9223.
Hey, we're back with Dr. Steve, Dr. Richard, and Jamie Love here on Journey into Awareness on the Daily Blue.
Stephen, I just want to quote your book. Okay, this
Oh,
is
all
one
right.
of this is just such a good quote. It
And
says,
you keep plugging the book, and hold on one second.
Okay.
I want to make sure that they know out there that a couple of things. First, I don't write books so that you fall in love with me. I write books so that you fall in love with you. The most powerful person you'll ever know in your life, the only, even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes, the only vital and not changeable person in your life is you. You are the only person who really, you're born with you, you die with you, and all in between, it's you. You are vital and you are the only one. It doesn't seem like it sometimes. Sometimes it seems like when we lose people or people betray us or something that our lives are over. Your life isn't over. And every time that's happened to you and you thought your life was done, here you are. You were wrong. You have a history of victory, and the only person who isn't changeable, isn't exchangeable, isn't the only vital person in your life is you. Cultivate that relationship. So that's what I want when you read these books. I wanted to make you feel powerful about yourself, not me. I'm just some dude in Long Island. Think about your story and your life. And number two, we have 4 international best-selling books. I've never bought a slice of pizza with that money. 100% of that goes to our charity programs. In 40 countries, we have empowered women's centers, we have veterans programs, education programs, all 100% free, all 100% from these books.
oh, fantastic. Well, that's exactly what our show is about.
Yes.
Journey into Awareness is exactly what you just said. It's all about journeying to your own personal journey. Each
Yeah.
and every individual person on this planet, we want to really encourage people to have their own personal journey into their own personal awareness.
To wake up.
To wake up.
To who
to
you
pop.
are. To
you
pop
know?
into who you are.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
to let go of the desire to be
That's
anything
why
else.
I
but
love
yourself.
this
That's
quote
right.
in your book right here. This really helped me out a lot the other day. It says, "The past will be your teacher if you learn from it, and your master if you live in it." So we're talking about the past.
Yeah, we're talking about the past, and we're talking about something more important. We're talking about whether you identify yourself with your circumstance or with your value.
Okay.
So what do
Okay.
you identify yourself with? So, excuse me for this impromptu, and I'm sorry if I'm beating up the mic a little bit, but I'm gonna grab my wallet,
Okay,
and let's take a crisp $100 bill.
all right.
So we have a crisp $100 bill, and we know that the value is $100, and it's crisp and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Its condition is flawless.
Yes.
And if I crumple it up, and I spin on it, and I say it's fat, and I call it a bitch, and I do whatever I want, its condition has changed already. Its condition has changed. But its
Still
value
valued.
is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens in our lives is that most of us will identify with our condition,
Uh-huh.
not our value. So when I
Right.
talk to people across the world, but when I talk to people, they'll say, I'm divorced, I'm broke. And you'll hear them identify and introduce themselves as
Their
their
condition.
condition,
Oh.
as opposed to the empowered mind that finishes the sentence. I'm broke, but I'm still here. I'm divorced, but I'm worth more. And you start changing that. The empowered mind finishes a sentence, and it does not confuse its condition and its circumstance for its value. We all have that ability. We all have the ability to refine. We all have the ability to improve. And most importantly, we all have the ability to change our story. Now, it's so interesting, and you learned this, and we learned this
Yes.
through our academics. But it turns out that 100% of your life happens in your brain,
Yes.
in your mind. 100% of it. Everything you experience is good, bad, ugly, beautiful, happy, sad, in love. All of these things are experienced in your mind. They're a story. Richard's a story you're telling yourself. Jamie's a story you're telling yourself. Steve's a story I'm telling myself. You can change that story whenever you want it's all in your head, folks. All of it. If you don't like the story, change the story. If the people around you don't let you change the story, change them. And that's how you go. You have to be unapologetic in your approach. I send out a mass email. This might be a little, it's just me, it's my personality. I'm unapologetic about cutting things out of my life. I send out a mass email, sometimes once or twice a year. My dear friends, I'm making some positive changes in my life. If you don't hear from me, you were one of them. And you just do unapologetic. There are people who, if you bring me drama, if when I look at my phone and your name's on it, I get some sort of,
Yeah.
or I
yeah.
kick you and I don't want to hear from you, that is a flag and a message to myself to change your name. And your name will get changed on my phone to do not
Don't
answer.
answer.
No, I have no, just like they don't have any apology
couple
bringing
don't
me
answers
the
on my
drama, I have no problem cutting you off.
Yep.
And it's not that I hate you, it's not
No.
anything like that.
You're
It's like
protecting
cigarettes.
yourself
Right.
I don't smoke cigarettes
because you want to be healthy.
because I don't want to die from cigarettes. I don't hate cigarettes. I don't care that they sell cigarettes. I don't
Yeah.
care where the banners and the
And I don't
commercials.
judge people that smoke
Right.
cigarettes.
Couldn't care less. I just don't want them because they're not good
Right.
for me. And the same thing, believe it or not, the same thing with juicy, delicious cheeseburgers.
Yes.
I absolutely the opposite. I love cheeseburgers. I have a great relationship with cheeseburgers. However, I also know that I have to limit that because in the end, if I have too many, it's not good for me. And you set these gauges in your life, and you set a standard in your life. And that's what the empowered mind does. And that's what being unapologetic is recognizing your shortcomings, recognizing where you're strong, where you're weak, recognizing these things, and moving forward in your life accordingly.
Well, think about that, folks. And we'll be back here on the Daily Blue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Corinne Murphy-Caro, and I'm the founder of TheDailyBlue.com. The Daily Blue is all about spreading positive news about Long Islanders, and we want to hear from you. Tell us your stories. Our show hosts are waiting to hear from you. Sponsor an ad or advertise with us. Call us now, 631-761-9223.